The sound of the soft ball and hammered cover fall on the hall. White flower in the SL, it looked like a wedding from a magazine, but for Tehang it felt more like a dream. He didn't choose it. Tehang stood near the edge of the room, adjusting the cuff on his suit with shaking hands. His cafe employee had begged him not to go, thought that his cousin Minna had excused his shoulder that morning and whispered, "You can still walk away." But he had looked at his brother Jane's serious face and said only, "It's already decided." Across the hall, Jungkook stood tall in dark suit. He was the seer everyone whispered about, sharp, cold, and young. His friend Namjoon stood beside him, leaning slightly as he hummed, "Are you sure about this, Jungkook?" Jungkook's jaw tightened. "I'm sure," he said quietly. "He humiliated me once." This is his turn to understood who he is dealing with. Namjoon marriage isn't a game, Jungkook. Jungkook's eyes flickered to where Taehyung stood, unaware of his gaze. "Ah, it's not a game, Jungkook. But it's payback." The ceremony began. Taehyung walked down the aisle, his eyes fixed on the floor. He didn't smile. Jin sat in the front row, his arms crossed tightly. Minna stood near the door, ready to step in if needed. When the officiant asked the question, Taehyung voice trembled but was steady. "I do." Jungkook's voice was low and almost cold. "I do." The player felt thin. Taehyung's heart beat faster, but not from joy. He glanced up at Jungkook's face. The man didn't even try to smile. Taehyung thought, "Why? Why me? Why now?" Back at the Jungkook apartment, a sleek, high-risk far from Taehyung's warm little cafe, silence stretched between them. The city lights gleam outside the window. Taehyung placed his small overnight bag on the couch. "I'll sleep the guest room," he said quietly. Jungkook turned around from the window. "We are married. It would look strange if you in another room." Taehyung met his gaze, a spark of anger rising. "You married me without telling me why. You show no kindness, and now you care about how it looks." Jungkook stepped closer but kept his voice even. "Oh, you are my wife now, Taehyung." Taehyung lips pressed into a line. Don't call me that." For a moment, Jungkook saw not the boy who had once in at a business lunch, but a tired man tried to hold his dignity. Something in his gaze shifted, but he paused it down. "Fine," Jungkook said. "Do what you want." The next morning, Taehyung was back at his cafe, dressing before sunrise. He wiped down table, spoke softly to his staff, and tried to smile. Minna arrived carrying a bag of pastries. "Minna, oh Jung, you are walking in the morning after your wedding. Shouldn't you be on a honeymoon?" Taehyung, This cafe is my life. Honeymoon? are for people in love. Minho forward, placing the bag down. You don't look happy. Taehyung sighed. I'm not, but I can handle it. Outside the black car stopped. Jungkook stepped out his expression and babbled. The staff whispered, the CEO of a big company walking into their small cafe was a shock. Jungkook walked up to the counter. You forget your phone, he said, placing it gently on the counter. Taehyung blinked. You drove all the way for that? Jungkook said, you left it. Minho watching with narrowing eyes. What do you want for him? He asked quietly. Jungkook's eyes flickered to Minho, but he said nothing. Instant, he changed around the cafe. He glanced around the cafe, noticing the hand-painted menu board, the smell of fresh bread, the way Taehyung greeted each customer. For a moment, something softened in him. That evening, Jin came to Jungkook's apartment. He stood in the doorway, tall and serious. Jin, you married my brother? Why? Jungkook, is that your business? Jin stepped forward. He is my little brother. He is not in your game. Jungkook eyes darkened, but he stayed calm. He agreed to marry me, Jin. He agreed because you concern him. I know it. If you hurt him, Jungkook, I'm not hurting him. I'm giving him a new life. Jin stared at him. A new life isn't always a better life. He turned to leave. If I see him cry, I'll take him back. When the door shut, Jungkook exhaled slowly. Namjoon, who had been sitting quietly on the couch, said softly, they are not wrong about you, you know, but you still have a choice. A few nights later, Taehyung came home late from the cafe. His hands were red from washing dishes. He found Jungkook sitting at the kitchen, papers spread out. Taehyung tried to walk past without a word, but Jungkook noticed the way he rubbed his waist. Jungkook, sit. Jungkook, Taehyung, I'm fine. Jungkook, sit, please. Taehyung hesitated, then said, Jungkook, get up, open a drawer, and pull out a small bottle of cream. Jungkook, for your hands, they are cracked. Taehyung looked at him, surprised. Why? Why do you care? Jungkook applied the cream gently to Taehyung's hands without answering. For a moment, the kitchen was quiet, except for the sound of their breathing. Taehyung pulled his hand back slowly. You are confusing, he whispered. Jungkook looked at him, something unbearable in his eyes. Maybe I am. Later that night, Taehyung lay awake in the guest room, staring at the ceiling. Jungkook was in the next room. Taehyung thought about the way Jungkook's hands had felt, cold but careful in his own room. Jungkook sat by the window, looking at the city lights again. He thought of Taehyung's cracked hands, his quiet voice, his stubborn eyes, the revenge plan didn't feel as simple anymore. Namjoon was ego in his head. Marriage isn't a game. Morning come grey and heavy. Taehyung moved around the kitchen making tea. He heard Jungkook's footsteps and shifted. Jungkook, you are up early? Taehyung, some of us have real work to do. Jungkook smirked at the staring in Taehyung's tone. Real work? Running a small cafe? Taehyung turned eyes sharp. Yes, the kind of work that feed people and make them happy. Not everything is about contract and money. For a second, Jungkook's mouth opened, then closed. He reached for his water. I'll drive you. Taehyung shook his hand. I can go myself. Taehyung, you're my wife. People expect to see you with me. Taehyung said his mouth down hard. Then, maybe they should marry you instant. Jungkook blinked. He had expected fear, not fire. In the car, despite his protest, Taehyung ended up in Jungkook's car. Rendered at the windside, the silence between them was sharp. Finally, Jungkook spoke. Jungkook, you didn't sleep in our room. Taehyung, I like room without ghost. Jungkook glanced at him. Ghost? Taehyung, of whatever plan you are playing, I may not know it yet, but I feel it. Jungkook's hand tightened on the steering wheel. He wanted to say it's revenge, but the word stuck. Inside, Taehyung tried his Jungkook followed and sat at the corner table, pretending to check emails. He watched Taehyung greet customers, laugh softly at minnow jokes, move with child, but sure hands. He took himself. You are here to make him uncomfortable, to remind him who holds the power. So when a delivery arrived, Jungkook called out across the cafe. Jungkook, you are late with the invoice again. Do you want me to handle your books? Too? Taehyung straight eyes flicker. Handle my book? This is my cafe, not one of yours. Company, Jungkook, maybe if you let me, you make a real profit. Taehyung crossed his arms. Maybe if you let me. You see, this place isn't about profit. A few customers turned to look. Manu stepped close, but Taehyung raised a hand. It's fine. Manu, he looked at Jungkook. If we are done pretending to drink coffee, maybe you should go back to your glass tower. Jungkook left the sitting. He meant to provoke, but her words, his wife's words, hit deeper than expected. Later than he rested, Jungkook followed Taehyung into the storage room. Jungkook, you shouldn't talk me like that in public. Taehyung then stop treating me like one of your employees. Jungkook stepped closer. You don't know what you are doing. Taehyung lifted his chin. Maybe I don't, but I know. What are you doing? You are trying to break me. Jungkook frozen. Do you think I don't see it? The way you show up, the little comments, the control. You think I'll be bow my head and thank you? I won't. Jungkook was slower now. Why did you slap me that day? Taehyung blinked. That day at your events? Because you insult one of my staff. You laugh at him. in the front of everyone. Jungkook looked down. You didn't even know me, then I didn't have to. I know what I saw. For a moment, they were both silent. Jungkook saw the sadness behind Taehyung's steady eyes, and guilt pressed at him. Jungkook, do you hate me? Taehyung gave a small, bitter smile. Some days I do. Some days I don't know. Today I mostly pity you. Jungkook stepped back as if that night. Taehyung arrived first. He set down his bag and started chopping vegetables for dinner, murmuring to himself. Jungkook came in later, shoulders tense. Taehyung, you can see it. I cook, or is cooking and also insult to your power? Jungkook, I didn't mean to insult you, Taehyung, but you did. He kept chopping. Jungkook stood at the counter watching him. Finally, he spoke. Jungkook, this wasn't supposed to feel like this. Taehyung put the down and turned. Like what? Jungkook, like I am the villain in my own story. Taehyung titled his head. Maybe stop acting like one then. Jungkook let out a laugh. You are not scared of me at all, are you? Taehyung, should I be? You can ruin what you didn't build, and you didn't build me. For a moment, Jungkook just looked at him, something soft creeping into his expression. Jungkook, you are not what I expected. Taehyung wiped his hand on the towel. Neither are you. I thought CEOs were busy. Instant, you are here picking fight with a barista. Jungkook gave a small smile despite himself. You are more than a thing, and you are more than your anger. Maybe one day you will remember that. He turned back to stop. Jungkook stood there, the smell of food filling the kitchen, guilt pressing heavier in his chest. Later that night, they sat at the opposite side of the sofa, plate empty on the coffee table. The television was on but muted. Jungkook, I don't like seeing you sad. Taehyung looked at him sideways, then stop making me sad. Jungkook, it's not that simple. Taehyung, everything's simple if you tell the truth. Jungkook rubbed his forehead. I thought hurting you would make me feel better, but it doesn't. Taehyung, good, maybe you are human after all. Jungkook let out a shaky breath. Taehyung held up a hand. Not tonight. I'm tired. When you all are ready to stop playing game. I'll listen. He got up and went to guest room, leaving Jungkook alone on sofa. Jungkook stared at the dark screen, feeling the weight of what he'd done, the strange relief of Taehyung's defense. The apartment was dark, except for a faint city glow. Jungkook sat on the sofa, elbow on his knees, staring at the silent television. In the guest room, Taehyung leaned against the door, eyes closed. Both of them were awake, but neither knew how to start. Morning light in again. Taehyung came out first, wearing a loose sweater, hair a little messy. Jungkook was already in the kitchen, making coffee for once. The smell filled the air. Taehyung You are up early? Jungkook couldn't sleep. Taehyung sat at the table. Me neither. Jungkook placed a mug in front of him. Here isn't it not good as yours. Taehyung took a sip and gave a small smile. For a moment, silence was gentle. Instant of shock, Jungkook took a breath. Jungkook, I need to talk. Taehyung then talk. Jungkook said, opposite him, finger tightened around his mouth. Jungkook, I don't marry you for love. At first, I married you because I wanted revenge. You, me that day at the event and in front of my board member. I thought you back would make me feel better. Taehyung stared at him, face unaware. Jungkook, I show up at the cafe to bother you, to make you small, but it didn't work. You are not small, Taehyung. You are bigger than I am. Taehyung put the mug down slowly. You are finally saying it. Jungkook's voice cracked a little. I'm sorry. Every time I saw you tired or sad, I told myself it was what I wanted. But it wasn't it. It made me feel worse. I don't want to hurt you anymore. Taehyung looked at him for a long time. You have done a lot of damage. Jungkook nodded. I know. If you want to leave, I'll let you. Oh, why? Taehyung titled his head. You are giving me a chance. You are giving me a choice now. Jungkook, yes. You deserve that. Taehyung stood up and walked to the window. He spoke quietly. Taehyung, you made me angry. You made me tired. But you also came to my cafe. You drove me. You brought my phone. You rubbed cream on my hand. That wasn't revenge. That was you. Jungkook blinked. I didn't mean to show that side. Then turned back to him. Exactly. It slipped out. Maybe that's the real you? He walked closer, stopping just in front of Jungkook. Taehyung, you hurt me, but you also made me see you. You are not just a headline. You are a man who doesn't know how to heal. Jungkook lowered his eyes. And you? Will you heal with me? Taehyung took a slow breath. I'm still angry, but I don't hate you. I don't want to run. Jungkook looked up, hope flickering. You don't? Taehyung gave a small smile. No, not anymore. Jungkook rose slowly up from the chair as if afraid to break the moment. Jungkook, can I? Taehyung was short but clear. If you are asking for a ask properly. Jungkook in a nervous smile. Taehyung, may I you? Taehyung nodded. Yes. Jungkook stepped closer. The morning light caught in Taehyung's hair. He raised a hand, brushes a strand from Taehyung's forehead and then leaned in. There was gentle, hesitated first, then warmer. Taehyung had come up to Jungkook's shoulder, studying both of them. When they pulled back, Taehyung's eyes were bright. That's the first honest thing you've done. He whispered. Jungkook laughed softly, a sound more like relief than I keep being honest. They sit together on the sofa, shoulders touching. Jungkook, I'll fix what I can for you, for cafe, for us. Taehyung start by not calling it fixing, just be here. Jungkook, I can do that. Taehyung leaned his head on Jungkook's shoulders and stopped trying to own me. Love doesn't own, Jungkook, I understood. They sat like that for a long time, watching City wake up. A few weeks later, the cafe had a small celebration. Mingo hung fairy lights in the window. Jin stood at the counter, arms crossed, but smiling. Namjoon arrived with bunch and grain. Jungkook came in with Taehyung not as a CEO with a plan, but as a man holding his partner's hand. They stopped, clapping softly. Jin, raising an eyebrow, but nodded. Jungkook whispering to Taehyung, this place suits you. Taehyung, and you, maybe. They shared a quick look, a promise of new beginning. Jungkook excuses Taehyung's hand. Jungkook, thank you for giving me another chance. Taehyung smiled, doesn't waste it. His forehead lightly outside the rain had stopped and sunlight filled the street. For the first time since the wedding, both of them felt something close to peace.